Awesome. Thanks, Rick. All right, week 2 weeks into it. Another tough one at Ball State. There were moments at the game that you thought we would take control and finish them off. We weren't able to get that done. A bizarre fourth quarter that kind of, you sit there and you go, at what point in the game should you have finished it off? And it started to unravel. In my opinion, you look at the call on the turned over pick six, and then you look at, at one point in the game, in the fourth quarter, you go touchdown, turnover for Ball State. And that's really all of it was at the end of the game. We'll start dissecting it a little bit, and offensively you got to start faster than that. We can't have such a slow start. We can't just continue to go 3 and out over and over. And then on the other side of that defense, we hung in there for the first half. I thought we played pretty good, clean football. Kept it pretty tight there. Second half, offense got their legs back under them. I thought we looked better at times. Defensively, I think we struggled to get off the field at times, and the numbers say the same thing. And then again, we all saw how the last 2 minutes and 30 seconds played out, and that was the game. We got another exciting opportunity this week. We're home. Finally, good to be home. Got a good Lindenwood football team coming in. Coach Stewart and those guys do a great job over there. He's been there for a long time. He's done a lot of good things for their program. Beautiful place to play. I'm glad that we are back at Plaster Stadium. We're excited to see all the Bear faithful and see what we can do.
Where are you guys stand on injuries this week?
Well, good news. Just talked to Big Eric Cade. He just came into the office. He's going to start warming back up into the mix on Tuesday. So we should see how he progresses. He'll probably get about 30 minutes of individual work with us, and then see if he can progress into team drills. We'll see how he feels there. Hudson Lilliebridge will be back in the mix. That was a really nice game time decision there by our training staff. Hats off to Andrew Chaney and those guys. Our team doctors were able to get him back, and he looked pretty good. I think he was capable. I think he was able to protect himself and do some good things. Christian Loiza will also be evaluated after Tuesday's practice. We'll do the same thing with him and Eric in regards to getting them kind of in the mix in individual work, and then seeing if they can transition to team. Curtis will still be out just because, again, those ribs are out of place. Until we can kind of get those situated, I think he's got one more week on the shelf. Other than that, I think we came out of the game pretty good, pretty clean, excited to get back to work.
Just watching and listening to how people reacted to some of the parts in that game where you guys start to fall apart. Just listening to learn how to win part. That's something we've talked about here since you and your staff, Bobby, first arrived here. Mm-hmm. You still find yourself going through that learning how to win phase? Yeah,
I think each team is different. I think that you can't, now with the transfer portal, with you bring in new guys, you have different pieces here and there. I think you're still figuring out which each individual team has and what each individual team is. Yes, we have more guys than we had last year that are veteran football players that have played some games, but, you still have to understand it's the second game of the season. We're still, again, learning who this team is, trying to figure out ways to win with this football team, and you can't turn the ball over. It's simple as that. Again, we just talked about the structure of plays there for 4 straight series, didn't go our way, and that was the difference.
You see, I don't know if self-implosion is the right phrase to use there, but you guys get that touchdown called back. They scored a touchdown quickly after that. You fumbled the kickoff. They scored a touchdown. It just felt like it kept going on and on. Just what do you notice in those moments where things do feel like they're starting to fall apart a little bit?
Yeah, we've got to be able to face adversity. Even when you're winning the games, even when there's moments that you can put teams away, they're going to fight back. It's not just going to be clean throughout the whole game, and guys are going to lay down and let you blow them out with an easy win. We need to be able to overcome adversity, and our really good, talented players on the team have to make plays when it's needed. And I think, again, we had a good team meeting on Sunday about that. Our executive board stepped up, and I feel like we're close. We just got to get over the hump. Just takes one, and I think we'll get rolling.
Ryan, talk a little bit about the run game, the struggles in the run game on Saturday. A factor of the injuries up front. Were they trying to take away that? Was there something defensively that they were doing to try and make sure that you couldn't get Jacardier the ball? Because it seemed like every time he touched it, there was at least 3 black jerseys already there.
Yeah, they did a really nice job with their run pressures. They were able to attack the ball in the backfield, like right when the mesh point was happening, they were in the backfield. I think that was a combination of new guys on the O-line as well as a good plan. I think they have a good defensive football team. That'll be, to be determined as we continue throughout the year. But we still have to find ways to cut the movement off, to get the run going. Again, if you're able to efficiently run the ball against Montana, we should be able to make our adjustments and at some point be able to efficiently run the ball against Ball State.
You'll love this. Your FBS opponent for the year. You've coached at the FBS level in the MAC going up against those teams. Just when you're looking at scholarships and everything and some of the ways that could have helped you in that game, your offense is on the field for 8 minutes in that first half and everything. So did you notice the defense getting tired to where you could have gassed a little bit to where that would have helped, and that's going to help in the future to where you're able to identify those things?
Sure.
Missouri State's going to be better at this in the future.
Yeah, I definitely think anytime that you have the same amount of scholarships that the team you're playing has, I think that helps even the field a bit. I think at times it would have been good to have some fresh bodies in some different positions, but we still got to execute. We still have to execute and play Missouri State Bears football for 4 quarters. And I think the one thing you asked about the self-implosion and collapse and those type of words. I don't feel that way. I think some things didn't go our way. And I think that we have to find our consistency. I think we have to just play a consistent football because, in the first 2 games, there's times where you go, really good football team. And there's other times you go, I don't know if we'll win a game. That's just kind of where we're at right now. We're trying to find who we really are and who we can be on a consistent basis because winning is a learned skill. It is a habit of what you continually do. Everyone in here would raise your hand and go, do I want to be a winner? Yes. Are you willing to do what it takes when the game is on the line to get those wins?
How do you get to that point when that's how you're starting the season? Because once you get to the next level, when we start dreaming about college football playoff and being that group of 5 team that's up there, usually they're going to have to be undefeated. You have to learn how to win before the season even starts. Just how have you kind of, as a young head coach, just noticed trying to get that instilled before the first game?
Yeah, it's a challenge. Again, with the roster turnover and the way that things change every 6 months in college football, I think that is one of the biggest challenges facing coaches right now is to have your team on game 1 as ready as it's going to be on game 10. Again, how has your offseason been? Were you able to retain your talent? Did you lose a bunch of talent? Did you have to go into the portal and get a bunch of players, or did you go the high school route? I think the one thing that will help us here at Missouri State is we still believe in some semblance of grassroots recruiting. We still try to bring in a crop of high school players each year, and that way they can learn from the older, more established guys in our program. And then you get more of, the Todrick McGee's of the world, the P.J. Halls, Jacardier Wright, guys that stay within the program for years, and again, just establish a foundation.
Wanted to ask about Todrick again. 16 tackles on Saturday, a new career high. What else could this young man be giving you right now? Because it seems like he is everywhere on the field when your defensive 11 is out there.
Yeah, he is. He's been a lead out there. He really runs to the football. He knows how to play within the confines of the defense. I think that's one thing you really see because he knows exactly when he can take his chances and when he can't. The nice thing about Todrick, I've coached him hard for a long time, and I coached him hard today in a meeting before we came over here. Still missed tackles. Could have 20 tackles. And the thing we need from Todrick is he's an elite player on Saturday. I need his heart and his mind to be more vocal on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I think that will help our football team more than anything he can do athletically is his mental approach to be vocalized to the rest of our football team.
Ryan, to follow up a little on where Wyatt was going, it's kind of human nature. Week 1, they knew they were playing a national power team. Week 2, you're playing your FBS. This week, you're not playing at that level. The human nature part of it, how do you keep them motivated?
Yeah.
A team that won't be at that level.
Human nature as a competitor, we're an 0-2 football team. You are what you put on film. You are what your record indicates you are. I don't think there's anything that needs to be said. That should be plastered everywhere. We need to keep that in mind. Lindenwood will be coming in here. They're a well-coached team. I really like their quarterback. He's an athletic kid that can move around. He can spin it. And the one thing that we probably needed to do a little better job of last week is containing the little quarterback. He scrambled a few times. We kind of need to make sure we keep him bottled up in the pocket, but I don't think that'll be an issue for our guys. Any sort of letdown, we know what we need to go do.
What have you been able to find out from them? Because that's a team that goes and gets killed by Kansas week 1. They host a nationally ranked Central Arkansas team last week. Just what have you been able to find in them to that where they can try to expose you guys in some spots?
Yeah, again, I like the quarterback. They've got a big, bulky running back that runs with power. The thing that they have is stability in their program. They've had the same head coach, same offensive coordinator, I think, for 8 years now, which is good for their players. They understand what they're trying to do. You're going to get a bunch of open sets, a bunch of 2x2, 3x1 sets on offense. And then defensively, you're not going to get as much. You go from last week at Ball State having a tremendous package scheme, just a ton of stuff in. You're seeing pressure from everywhere. And I think you're going to be a little bit more just kind of 4-down quarters with a little bit of pressure. That's what they're going to show. And the one thing that we have to make sure we do is have a complete football game. The one thing you saw this week, we struggled on special teams as well. Didn't kick the football well, didn't punt the football well. Gave up some chunk returns, and again, taking care of the football. We need all 3 phases to really not lock in this week and make sure we have a 4-quarter game this week.
Any other questions for Coach? Coach, I do have a quick question. I want to wait till the football stuff is out. I know, your new athletic director said he wants a different home field advantage.
Sure.
Anything he's told you that's going to be different? I know he said second half of the season he wants to start implementing some things. Is there anything going on this week that we should know about?
Not that I know of. I'm sure they've got a great plan together. I'm sure it's going to be an exciting time. I'm sure they've got a bunch of, great things lined up for all the fans that are come and have a great time this weekend because, again, home opener. Why not get excited about the future, get excited about what we need to do moving forward? Because, Patrick and I, we were leaving the stadium, you look around at Ball State, we're going to be recruiting against Ball State. They got big indoor, the big screen, the big, beautiful multiple practice fields there. That's the world we're stepping into. We need to be ready, and we need to be able to match those types of things so we can win some recruiting battles.
So are you just walking around pointing, I want that, I want that, I want that, or just what was that?
No, it wasn't really my time to shine there. I needed to do my job and finish off the football game the right way because I understand our job here as coaches, players, and staff is to win football games, and that's what we're going to do.
Is there something that you miss about Placer, about this place that you think about in your off season and okay, today's the day you finally get back to it type of thing with your home opener?
Miss about
the game day experience, being here, being in spring.
Oh yeah, just the comfort level of being around our own fans. The last 2 weeks, you fly 3 hours to Montana, you're getting crushed the whole time by every fan in their stands. 5-year-old kids, 85-year-old granddads sitting there telling you what they think about you. Ball State obviously wasn't as lively, but still a good venue. Beautiful, beautiful place, beautiful campus. But again, anytime you can have your home fans here, I know the Bearpocalypse guys, shout out to that group. They have been absolutely tremendous. And the thing about Springfield and Missouri State as a whole, there's people here that care, okay? There is hope for a bright future because, and I've always said this since I've got here, the people make the difference. And there are people on campus and there are people in the right seats now that can help make that change.
You got to feel happy with the discipline was better this week. There wasn't the late penalties or anything. Just what you see there, and just kind of what were those messages throughout the week to get that fixed?
Yeah, probably a little bit of the message I probably can't share here, but they got the point. And again, I think we kind of talked about it last week. The leadership on the team, the player-led teams are the best teams, and they took it amongst themselves to show, our growth and show that we can keep that under wraps. But again, as the game goes, there's things we can't control. I'm sure, as you watch that game, there were times that you probably had some questions in your mind, and that's just how the game of football works sometimes.